Good morning, good morning. Had a good job yesterday. I finished that glass door when I was talking about. I made a 26-second short video. It's the last video I posted yesterday. Um, you'll see the thumbnail. It's a short, so I couldn't add a thumbnail in there unless I edited it and put it at like a screenshot and then highlight that part. But so the thumbnail's just me lifting a glass door. But it went pretty good. I had to return some of the wheels, but I'm glad I bought two different pairs of those wheels. As you remember yesterday, I showed you guys the different wheels that I was going to use. But let's set this up somewhere. But we're going to use dumbbells today, and of course do my burnouts. I'll probably do the burnouts at the end. That way they're a little more difficult. Let me give my dogs a treat for real. Vem, vem, Pepe, vem, vem, Sete. Vem tomar passaggio. Vem comida. Você fome? Fome, pãozinho. Here. Good girl. Let me get Sophie this treat. Oh, can anyone hear me? I just want to make sure the sound's working. If not, that's okay. I had to redo that a few times this week. I had to redo the push-ups and everything. But that was alright, because I had to do more sets anyway. So. But we're just going to knock out a few hundred real quick. I like to do 40, 30, 20, 10, 40, 30, 20, 10. So each one of that's 100 and 100. 40, 30, 20, and 10 is 100. And then do that again. And then I'll throw my burnouts in at the end. And I'll use some dumbbells. We'll do some I'll do some hammer curls today. Maybe something similar to preacher curls, but a standing version with a different flexation where it's stretched out all the way. It's just a different muscle growth technique. You still do full reps, but you mix these in also. If you think full reps is the only thing that's going to make your muscle grow, you're crazy. You definitely have to think outside of the box. And there's a lot of medical studies that show that flexation, like third rep sets of where the set flexes the most, is going to it's going to stretch the muscle and get it pumped, and it's going to make it have faster growth than someone doing just full reps only. It's good to practice all three different versions of the reps. On the way up, the way down, and then full rep. I have a graph of that I'll upload on the next one. There's a mini graph of it a few days ago on one of the thumbnails. Because we're going to do something called cosmic push-ups, which activate a lot of the muscles in the forearm and all three areas of the tricep. Remember, there's 20 muscles in the forearm. You even got elbow muscle that you can flex. Stretch. Or always stretch in between sets, push-ups, dumbbells, whatever. I don't like to use real heavy dumbbells. unless I'm balanced and I'm stable. If I'm using a machine, I'll use a lot of weight because the weight is stable. Whereas this, you have to make sure you're balanced and then holding your core perfect to keep the form. Whereas the machine, the form's already there. It's just the machine, you just gotta get in position. So when you're dealing with dumbbells, I don't like to have to be responsible for that and a lot of weight. At least not yet. Well, my goal is to make sure I have no love handles, that I have muscles here, that I'm working on my laterals. That's why I like to do these. And then my favorite forearm, we'll do 10 of these real quick. You want to make sure you're not rocking. So you got to go slower or do less weight. It's good to be explosive sometimes, but you want to make sure you slow it down. You don't want to pinch a nerve or pull a muscle trying to throw around a bunch of weight. That's what I'm saying about the dumbbells. You can do the cables that turn, where you pull the cables to Y, and it's stable. You just got to stay in there and hold the form. But the cable's going to automatically go right up and down if you hold it and sit in center. The dumbbells you have to control more and worry about working out and keeping the form. So you don't want to rock or whatever. You want to think of the letter Y. This is the bottom part, and then branch out. Then come back and go down. Don't just drop your muscles down. Go slow and go down slowly so you don't get hurt if you are using more weight, but these are just 8 pounds. So, these are ones you could practice jabs with. It's a good exercise. What? It was in my military school. The one boxer lady, she would tell me how she would practice her jabs with dumbbells, with light dumbbells like these. You don't want to do too much weight, hurt your shoulder, especially if you're boxing like she was. And what do you call it? She fought Muhammad Ali's daughter, Layla Ali. Anyway, she would tell me when she would punch without doing that, you could feel it because your hand would still punch as if she was holding that dumbbell after practicing over time. So learning a new skill is okay, but you got to practice it to get it good, just like anything. But here, now we're going to do some more of those. Do 10 real quick. Just like the cable pulls. It's a good forearm. I'm activating mainly my forearm on this one. And a little on my shoulder. I'm not using my bicep at all on this one. You can, but that's not what I'm going for. It all depends what you're going for. You're just making a Y. Go up, branch out like a Y, come back down. I like doing exercises to get that shoulder full and work on all 20 muscles in my forearm. So I'll do that same exercise, but go a little bit different increment angles, just to try to hit and twist, because when you rotate your forearm just a little bit each time, you can hit a different one of those muscles with different fluctuations. Stretch. Remember, eating healthy, that's important. When you're stretching, when you come out of the stretch, kind of go down slow and just to avoid any damage or pinching any nerves. Rotating is good, back and forth, holding your ground, standing at attention. That's with your feet in a V shape. But, however, all right, we're gonna do real quick. Let's see. Oh, you'll see my video yesterday I uploaded where I fixed the sliding door I was telling you guys about. It went really good. I was happy. It was good because it was a Christmas gift to the lady from her parents, or from her father, or maybe her parents too, but I know her. And he wanted to fix her sliding door in the new house for Christmas, and they didn't know if they was going to have to get a new door, if it can be fixed. And other companies were like, you need a whole new door, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, man, you could fix the rollers, but it sounds easy, but it's you got to make sure you don't break anything. And I was working with a little difficult door because the seal was damaged. It was hanging and ripped a little, so I had to be careful. I had to take the frame off of the sliding door and carefully get the wheels out without messing up the frame. Just had to pry it just a little to pull the wheels out. They were the wrong size wheel. They were single wheel. They needed to be the double wheel, so one on each side, so that'd be 4 wheels. And yeah, and I picked it up and got it right on there. It was only like maybe like a 150-pound door. Not too bad. 3 foot wide versus the one I did a few weeks ago. That was 4 foot wide and a lot taller, 93 inch. This one was only like little over 6 foot. So it was like a 100-pound difference. The other one I kind of needed help not to hurt myself, but yeah. But this one, no, I didn't need any help with the door job. Okay, burnouts. Here we go. We're gonna do. Let me get a camera view. Yeah. Mike, let's go. Oh, what's up, Ricky? Sorry, I just saw your stuff. Oh wait, am I on there? Yeah. Ricky, can you hear me? Are you still there? Probably not. But if you could hear me, let me know. Because the other day, I saw a message saying my sound wasn't working. And they were right. Like it's happened like 3 times since I started posting, or 3 or 4 times. And I was like, crap, I gotta do them again. All right, so we're gonna do burnouts real quick. Just because I'm doing this for a total of a few weeks, and then I won't do them as much. I'm trying to do 1100 in a set total, so 100 each rep, followed up with 10 push-ups, but all together consistently. Yeah. So, and again, it's innocent if someone sees this and thinks that, oh, it's not nothing, but it is. I'm telling you. Actually, I'm gonna try to do a little more today. I'm gonna try to do. We'll see. I'm gonna count out every 10, maybe every 20. So yeah, ready? This is a good pump on the tricep area, the back arms. So they're called burnouts because you're gonna feel the burn here, and on this chest part here, on both sides, of course, and of course your laterals, if you do them a little wider, like I'm gonna do today. So instead of diamonds like I normally do, or regular, I'm gonna go a little bit wider, just a little bit. Ready? Ten, 9, 20, 30, 40, 80. 100. Whew. All right, I'm gonna go a little closer and do regular push-ups. Slow it down. Keep your head looking forward. Whew. All right. Remember, that's important. Keep your head looking forward. Don't let it bob on the ground. Boom. You know, like a bobblehead. But you want to be alert at what's going on around you if you're in action anyway, no matter if you're in the middle of doing something. And as well as it helps with your depth perception, because you're going to have to just instinctively remember which memory muscle develops, of where to bounce, where to go up from. So I like to almost touch the ground, maybe a millimeter from it if I can. Boom, just to make sure that pump just goes a little quicker. So that was 100 burnouts and 10 push-ups. That was 110. So 10 sets, it'll be 1100, which would be 1,000 burnouts, 100 push-ups for the day. Whew. And then we'll follow up these with these while they're on fire. Stretch. Ooh, gotta stretch. I use these to stretch. Just let them droop down. Do some toe touches with these. It's good because it helps stretch just a little better anyway, because it helps pull you down, as if you had a person pushing your back down or something. Alright, I'm gonna do some more of these butterflies. Using the bicep and the chest on this one, and I'm using air flex and everything in the core, just to keep making sure I'm keeping my stability and not rocking. Have control as you go back down. Don't just let them drop like that, like I did on accident a minute ago. Remember, if you cheat, you're cheating yourself. You know what I mean? So you might as well. Hey, vem, Pepe. Passeia breve. Você pensou isso? E beijo, beijo. E beijo, Pepe, hoje. Passeia breve, Pepe. Passeia. E xixi. Xixi passeia. Juntos breve, ping. Okay, let's see. Oh, can you guys hear me? Oh, that's good. Alright. Well, like and subscribe if you can. That'd be great. I'm gonna go take my dogs for the walk. If you see the picture, you see the swans, the ducks, the squirrels, the otters. That's because it's cold here today in Orlando. It's the coldest I've seen it. For us, it's like 38 or something. I don't know what it is now. It's a few hours ago. It's starting to. It's a little better, but it's still cold. It's definitely in the 40s, I'd say. And that's cold here because we have the highest annual humidity if you include our dew point. Us, Arizona, and I forget where else, are always going at it with the highest humidity rate. But Florida is really the only tropical-like place, other than maybe Hawaii or whichever. They also have high humidity, but in the connected U.S., we have the highest, 74 to 77. But with our dew point, it can make it feel like 90 sometimes. And our annual rate is higher because we don't have a lot of snow and stuff like that, and because we're flat ground and we're surrounded by more water than any other state per ratio. All 1, 2, 3 sides. Florida is. And most places have like their high point is higher. We're flat ground. So think about steam rising. It dissipates as it climbs up mountains and shores of California, New York, New Jersey, Jersey Shore, whatever, California beach. They climb up the cliffs, and that steam dissipates. Here, no. And we have a higher UV rating. So that UV means we got more steam, and it's not dissipating. It's just hitting us flat because we're on flat land. And we're surrounded on all sides by water. So that explains how we have a colder feeling effect, because it's like a moisture in the air. So when it's 40 here, you feel 40 and with water in the air, and it feels like it's, whew, you know what I mean? Like you're getting misted with something 40, versus a dry cold, where I could walk to work in minus 17 or something, as long as I got a few jackets on, which I've done when I lived in New Jersey. Yeah, I remember falling into the snow up to my neck, because I had no idea the snow would, if you thought I didn't know it would fall through that far. So I had to like hop my way down this hill to get out of the snow and finish my way to work. And the streets were dead. It's like empty. You couldn't see a soul. It's like, wow. Something like Florida, when it's cold, you still see people outside, but yeah. I guess because of snow, people can't drive. They're snowed in or whatever. Here, we don't got to worry about being snowed in. So even no matter what. Whew. That's why sometimes you just see people grab a blanket and throw it on and run outside real quick, do what they got to do, and get back in there. That's a Florida thing. But you might have flip-flops, basketball shorts, and a blanket all wrapped around them. Running outside to check in the mail or something real quick, back inside, and that's it. Same thing for our rain. It really pours here. Here in Colorado, a few other places I've seen it rain really strong, but when I was in other states like Pennsylvania and South Dakota, it would sprinkle and they'd be like, "Whoo, it's raining cats and dogs here." I'm like, I don't think so. I could walk in this and not have to worry about getting wet, really. The sprinkling's so soft, but it would sprinkle all day long. Or for a few days. Okay, what was that? 110. Alright, let's just do 20 more diamonds. All the way up, where the elbows lock. And then make sure these two are touching. Diamonds, the result of diamond is to bring your chest outward. And the wide burnouts I was doing earlier was for my tricep, but also my lateral, and to bring my chest out more wide. The further you spread in your arms, your chest is also spreading during that workout, and you're making it work out in that position, in those muscles. But yeah. Remember the head forward. You don't want the head down, because then you're... I don't know, it was like 30. Alright. Alright, so that puts it at... Let me bust 10 more, that way it's 100 burnouts and 50 push-ups. But yeah, those burnouts, you're mainly wanting to get that cut mark back here on your tricep. But it'll, on my shirt, but yeah, you can even see it there. It's just that line right here. And your tricep has 3 sides, 3 muscles to the tricep. 3 different names for 3 different parts of the tricep. It's just both sides and the back. But stretching in between sets is very key. That it is important because you're stretching your muscle and you're making it stronger. Usually it gets denser, so you want to stretch it so it's still growing, but growing lengthwise and other way. You know, you can actually increase your height if you were to dedicate yourself to stretching and learning about the different stretches and holding those stretches for 30 minutes to an hour each pose per day, and do that consistently for 6 months to a year. In this book, it teaches that you can gain a few inches in height just from doing that, if that were to be your thing. But I really don't care about that. I just care about the benefits from it. You feel more relaxed. It's healthier for your body. It takes away a lot of compression that causes a lot of inflammation. As well with the healthy diet I talked about, as always drinking water. I like the blue just because it helps prevent some of the UV, because UV can cause like an invisible, somewhat kind of mold, possibly. And yes, there's microplastics in everything. Whether you drink soda, water, so drink the healthier water. Whatever, you know. Definitely better than tap water for me, so I definitely feel better. I don't have Haven't had a toothache in years since I quit drinking soda and switched to water full time. Um, Me and my wife did it together, so it was an amazing thing. We prayed together, and it happened. Both of us, it just hit us together. And we was like, I don't feel like going to the store buying any. You don't either? And they're like, no. I was like, all right. And then we just quit. And after trying to quit, and it was impossible for years. So we've been together over a decade or more. Stretch. It's one of my favorite ones to grab your, go back, get it up there, and then put your head back. Make sure you hold your spine straight. You can hold tighten your core also during the stretch. I like to hold them for at least 10 seconds, 30 seconds, just enough for the live. If I wasn't live, I would hold it for 2 minutes. But, whew. All right, I'm gonna go walk my dogs. I don't know if I should take the live with me or just start another live because it's gonna have the swans and stuff in it. Well, Ricky commented. Thanks, Ricky. Ricky's cool. Ricky's improving himself. We all can improve. A homeless person all the way to a president. We all got room for improvement. If I were to take the brain of a homeless person and the smartest president ever exists and switch them, what do you think would happen? That president would then become homeless, and that homeless person would eventually become possibly president or up in that area. It's all about not what you think, but because you can't control your thoughts. Your thoughts come from your content. And our content are like computers. They're all different with different downloads, different visits, different that, whatever. And for humans, our contents are, it's the way we grew up, the way things were taught, the religion, our ideas, our urges, our sins, our fantasies, our things we got to improve on, our things that we're doing good, but we got to maintain. We got to learn about pride, humbling self, stuff like that. You can't take credit from the creator. I think that's pride. It's saying you did something instead of the creator doing it. You know what I mean? That's having pride to me. Because it says pride is a downfall of sin, so I don't understand why some people would promote it. But that's just a personal thing for me, though. But yeah. But whatever. To be open-minded is to accept all 8 billion plus views on the earth, and I honestly do. Even from someone that's not living a great life, maybe doing negative things, I can still understand and see his perspective if I know his content and where he gets his decisions from. But one thing I learned is it doesn't matter where your content has or how different your mind thinks. You can't change what you think. No one can change their thoughts. Your thoughts come to you. They come at you, not to you. Because to you means you instinctively act on it. It comes to me, but it comes right at you, and you face it, and you choose. Am I going to act on this or not act on it? Like example, someone at 7-Eleven might think, oh, I want to kill this register person bringing out 100 pennies, blah, blah, blah. Maybe there's 5 p.m., they're supposed to be off at 4, and they're there, and they're just getting irritable, and they're thinking that. But it's just a normal thought. They don't actually do it. Yeah, it's normal. Just think, I want to kill this, but not really. You know what I mean? But just speak. But you got to learn which thoughts to ignore, which ones to act on. So there's a lot of you can't act on impulse. Temporary impulses are never good for permanent decisions. But the mistakes of the past is one's wisdom of the future, and everybody's on different timelines, so you have to be patient with that stuff. You can't be mad because someone doesn't want to learn that at the moment. You can tell them, plant the seed, hope that 10 years later, hopefully sooner, it affects them. If it's something positive. Alright, let's do some more of these. Work on the traps, the forearms. This is a good forearm one like this. Just like the cable. Except you're having to stabilize and stuff because you don't have the cable, the straps. I'm isolating the bicep, not using the bicep. I'm just not even using the shoulder. I'm only throwing it up with my forearm. Leaving my elbow a little bit up, a little bit like that. Because you got to have a little room for slack so you don't sway. Or you can go straight, a little to the side. I do both. You're gonna feel it in your back tricep, even though you're trying to just use the forearm. They're isolated, but you can feel it burning there everywhere. As long as it's reversed, you can do similar to the preachers. I'll do that tomorrow with a little heavier weights. These are a little too little for those. All right, a little more stretches in between. Remember, stretching in between sets. And always lock your joints. Don't leave them, you're cheating yourself if you leave them bent a little. Lock them when you stretch. Slowly up on the tippy toes, up and down if you got to. Okay. Alright guys, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Done with the workout for today. I'm gonna go feed the swans. I'll probably do another live. See you, Ricky.